In a dimly lit newsroom buzzing with the hum of screens and soft murmurs of debate, the Listening Post prepared to air its latest feature, Democracy Divided, Power Struggles in Pakistan. This piece sought to unravel the complexities of a nation where the promise of democracy often collided with the harsh realities of power politics. Act 1. The Promises of Democracy. Pakistan, a country born amidst tumult and hope, was envisioned as a democratic state. However, its journey since 1947 has been far from linear. The feature began with an evocative montage of black and white clips, Jinnah's stirring speeches, the jubilant crowds of Independence Day, and the first elections marred by both hope and controversy. The narrator's voice broke through, steady and somber. From the ashes of colonial rule, Pakistan's democracy emerged fragile but resilient. Yet, 75 years later, the dream of a truly representative government remains elusive. The team highlighted how the political landscape shifted over decades, governments to corruption scandals that eroded public trust. Interviews with political analysts traced a pattern, a democracy manipulated by elites and punctuated by periods of authoritarian rule. Act 2. The Power Struggles. As the documentary unfolded, the focus turned to recent years. Pakistan's political arena had become a battleground for power. The story zoomed in on Imran Khan, the cricketer-turned-populist leader who once inspired millions with his promises of a new Pakistan. Footage showed Khan addressing massive rallies, his words electrifying the crowds. Pakistan will no longer be ruled by dynasties. This is a people's movement, he thundered. But the narrator added a sobering counterpoint. Yet, like those before him, Khan's tenure was plagued by accusations of incompetence, an over-reliance on unelected power brokers, and an increasingly authoritarian bent. The piece delved into his ouster, the political resurgence of traditional parties like the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, PMLN, and the ever-present shadow of the military. A recurring theme was clear: no leader, no matter how charismatic, could escape the weight of institutional meddling and entrenched rivalries. Act 3. The People's Struggles. Beyond the corridors of power, the piece explored the struggles of ordinary Pakistanis. Vox Pops showed citizens grappling with skyrocketing inflation, power outages, and failing healthcare systems. A young woman in Karachi summed it up poignantly. Every few years, we hear the same promises. It doesn't matter who is in power, nothing changes for us. The Listening Post team balanced this grim reality with moments of resilience. Civil society, they noted, continued to push for accountability. Journalists risked their lives to expose corruption and advocate for press freedom. Activists worked tirelessly to empower marginalized communities, refusing to let the idea of democracy fade entirely. Act 4. A Divided Future. The documentary ended with a candid roundtable discussion among political thinkers and journalists. Can Pakistan ever achieve a truly democratic system? The host asked. One panelist, a historian, offered a nuanced view. Democracy in Pakistan is not dead, but it is fractured. For it to thrive, there must be a reckoning with corruption, military interference, and the apathy of those in power. Another panelist added. The real question isn't whether Pakistan can sustain democracy, but whether its people can reclaim it from those who treat it as a means to power rather than a tool for governance. Closing credits. The screen faded to black, leaving viewers with a poignant quote from Faiz Ahmed Faiz. Speak, for your lips are free. Speak, for your tongue is still your own. As the credits rolled, the newsroom buzzed with reactions. The Listening Post team knew their piece had hit a nerve. In Pakistan's democracy, the battle was far from over, but telling the story was the first step in bridging the divide. While elected leaders promised progress, the military loomed as a constant power broker. The narrator intoned, through coups, covert influence, and backroom deals, they shaped every chapter of Pakistan's political story. Despite this, the piece emphasized moments when civilian leaders pushed back, from Nawaz Sharif's open defiance to Imran Khan's fraught relationship with the establishment. It was clear the balance of power was neither static nor simple. As the documentary delved deeper, it explored how media became a battleground for shaping public opinion. Clips of fiery news anchors and viral social media posts played over a tense soundtrack. Pakistan's democracy isn't just fought in parliament, it's fought on television screens, in newspaper columns, and now, in the digital realm, the narrator explained. The piece showcased how political factions weaponized the media, spreading propaganda to discredit opponents. At the same time, independent journalists and platforms tried to hold those in power accountable. often at great personal cost. A digital rights activist shared insights into the growing influence of online platforms. Social media has democratized information, but it's also amplified misinformation. The challenge is to empower truth without letting lies dominate. Media wars and propaganda. As the documentary delved deeper, it explored how media became a battleground for shaping public opinion. Clips of fiery news anchors and viral social media posts played over a tense soundtrack. Pakistan's democracy isn't just fought in parliament, it's fought on television screens, in newspaper columns, and now, in the digital realm, the narrator explained. The piece showcased how political factions weaponized the media, spreading propaganda to discredit opponents. At the same time, independent journalists and platforms tried to hold those in power accountable, often at great personal cost. A digital rights activist shared insights into the growing influence of online platforms. Social media has democratized information, but it's also amplified misinformation. The challenge is to empower truth without letting lies dominate. Act 8, the youth movement. The story concluded on a hopeful note, spotlighting Pakistan's youth. With over 60% of the population under 30, young people represented a transformative force. From university debates to grassroots activism, they challenged the status quo. One student leader, speaking from a bustling Lahore cafe, said, "We're tired of the same faces and empty promises. We want a Pakistan that works for everyone, not just the elite." The listening post captured vibrant footage of youth-led initiatives tackling education, climate change, and gender inequality. Despite their frustrations, these young activists embodied a deep belief in democracy's potential. Final reflection. The documentary ended with a sweeping aerial view of Islamabad, its parliament building illuminated against the night sky. The narrator's voice returned, resonating with urgency. Pakistan's democracy remains divided, but its story is far from over. In every fracture lies the potential for rebuilding, and in every struggle, a chance for unity. As the screen faded to black, one final message appeared. The future belongs to those who refuse to give up on their dreams. Our army is ready for an organized defense of their country, from a soldier because they have faith to senior officer. All are good in their hearts. People always have courage. The Pakistan army is always the servant duty of every intuition of the living nations. The first in order that each of us should fix to as Islam has made rules. This world is a game. It is a temporary life. We should good each other. Think deeds too about everything that lives in this world. Thanks. Whatever is said in it is not against anyone. Would you like the next part to focus on another angle, such as a specific leader, event, or global context?